Your Excellency, Mr. Tigran Balayan, thank you for hosting us in the Armenian Embassy in Brussels, and thank you for accepting my request for this interview. Well,
thank you for your interest.
Shall we get it started from the, the most important international events that brought your country on the international agenda, and I'm referring to the meeting, the last meeting at the White House with the Prime Minister of Armenia, Nikol Pashinyan, and the President of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev. The joint declaration, also signed by Donald Trump, states that it represents somehow a starting point for an agreement that would lead to peace. What does this signing, the signing of this declaration means for Armenia after all?
I would say it's an historical event for Armenia, for the whole region and beyond, as basically by the agreements, and let me call it also the Washington agreements, because that was not only the joint declaration. We have signed also a number of MOUs with the United States on different areas of the bilateral cooperation, from energy to IT, artificial intelligence, and semiconductors. They are published, you can have a thorough look at them. But the most important outcome, I would say, that the countries, particularly Armenia and Azerbaijan, agreed to close the page of confrontation and move on towards building the peace and prosperity, to trade with each other, and to unblock the regional communications, which will be another opportunity for all partners of Armenia, of Azerbaijan, of United States to use these, I would say, for more than 30 years blocked possibilities of to the prosperity, to the trade, and to new routes that the world was not accustomed to during the last 30 years.
What is the actual situation on the ground right now? I mean, are there signs that Armenia and Azerbaijan are actually closer to a long-standing peace agreement?
Basically, the situation on the ground is very calm now. Of course, as you know, one of the texts that was initialed in Washington, that is the draft peace agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and we still are waiting for Azerbaijan to agree to sign it definitely, and not to put artificial preconditions like change of the constitution of Armenia. By the way, I want to highlight that Armenia never committed in front of any third party that we are going to change our constitution based on the demands of that or the other country. So we still expect the swift signing of the agreement and its ratification, etc., and moving on towards the building the better future for our countries and our peoples.
Mr. Ambassador, Moldova and Armenia have somewhat similar post-Soviet upbringing as independent countries. I mean, both our countries have frozen conflicts. Moldova has its
Armenia no more.
Well, Moldova still has its challenges with the separatist Transnistrian region. Armenia has recently lost control over the Nagorno-Karabakh region. Are there any lessons that these two countries could learn from each other based on their experience so far and on the long run, do you think?
I think we have a lot to learn from Moldova what concerns the European integration, and we have already actually started to learn from Moldova, and not only, because the progress Moldova has made is quite substantial and impressive. On the conflict resolution, also, I mean, my PhD is on conflict resolution, particularly on Nagorno-Karabakh, but here it's a field that advises not a good thing, especially that our efforts on solving this issue in a peaceful manner were not successful.
Okay. Is Armenia willing to join the European Union, as I understand?
Of course. I mean, it was very clearly stated by my leadership, and moreover, we have adopted legislation, a law, on the start of the process of Armenia's of accession of the Republic of Armenia to the European Union. As you might know, we already finalized the text of the new partnership agenda. We are looking forward to sign it this fall. And also we have started a sectoral cooperation with a number of EU agencies and DGs, which the goal is to bring closer Armenian standards with the European standards. I mean, this can take decades, of course, but even if at the end of this road Armenia doesn't join the EU, the reforms will certainly benefit the population of Armenia.
So no, it's not on the agenda for you to apply to become a candidate
for the moment being, we have not submitted an application to get a candidate status.
Okay. What level of influence Russia still has on Armenia, Mr. Ambassador? I mean, it's been a long-standing military partner for Armenia. How things have changed lately in this matter?
If we think about political influence, I would say that basically I don't see any decision taken by my government influenced by the Russian Federation. And Armenia now runs balanced and balancing foreign policy built on our national interests. And of course, there is a Russian business presence in Armenia, there is a Russian cultural presence in Armenia, taking into account centuries of partnership between Russia and for quite some time Armenia was part of Russian Empire and then later Soviet Union. But of course there are a lot of economic dependencies on Russia. But if we speak about political dependencies, I don't see any reason to be politically dependent. As you know, many decisions taken by my government, including on rapprochement with the European Union, were criticized by some circles in Moscow, but nevertheless we are pursuing the policy which is based on Armenia's national interests.
Another very important international actor, the United States, is now having control of the Zangezur corridor that passes through Armenia and connects Azerbaijan with its exclave Nakhichevan. And this road not only unites the Azerbaijan, but the Asian countries with the European ones. Well, what does the US presence actually changes in the Caucasus
First of
region?
all, I would strongly discourage you to use wording which is not appropriate, namely Zangezur corridor. It's a non-existent, it's a narrative that is being nurtured against Armenia's sovereignty. Armenia will retain full control, 100% control over its sovereign territory. And it's not only about that particular road that will connect Azerbaijan and Nakhichevan, but we are talking, and it is written in the declaration, on the unblocking of communications based on reciprocity and under the full control of the parties who have signed that declaration. But coming back to the core of your question, regardless of the wording you have used, I would say that this opens game changer opportunities for the whole region and beyond, and not only Central Asia, also China, also our European friends. Imagine a container or a truck from China can reach the Black Sea ports of European Union, Constanța or Burgas, like in 15 days. It's a game changer, and I'm quoting here President von der Leyen, who spoke about that opportunity during the EU Central Asia Summit back in April, if I'm not mistaken. And she used that word, that the opening of Armenia's borders with Azerbaijan and Turkey will be a game changer. Yes, it will be a game changer for the international trade, but which is most importantly for the peace in the region. And we regard opening of communications, we regard this mutual trend as one of the pillars of the peace for Armenia. And that is why we have proposed this project, basically, which is called Crossroads of Peace. And if you read the principles we have proposed, they are all reflected in the declaration signed in Washington, D.C.
And is the Azerbaijan part accepting the offer that you're making?
I mean, President Aliyev put his signature under the same document that was signed by my Prime Minister and also President Trump.
Mr. Ambassador, I would want you to tell us more about your cooperation with the Republic of Moldova. You said that somehow you're looking forward to learn from Moldova's experience on joining the European Union. Well, are there any specifics on your cooperation with Moldova that you can
Okay. Moldova's ambassador to the EU, Madam Morar, is my best advisor on all the details. Whatever I try to understand within the structure of European Union, nobody else can tell me exactly whom I should meet, what I should tell, etc. So on the local level, we are cooperating quite well. In other fields, many counterparts from Erevan are in basically daily contact with Moldovan counterparts, researching on the path Moldova has already went. And also try not to copy, but to localize the reforms you have done. Because again, I mean, if you read the progress report, the progress is quite impressive. And of course, we have a lot to learn from Moldovan partners. And I see also this very genuine openness and genuine desire from Moldovan counterparts to assist us.
Well, Mr. Balayan, thank you so very much for your answers and for this interview.
Thank you very much.